So welcome everyone to the Connecticut Assembly General Assembly meeting for October 23rd, 2024. And I'll just go through our little meeting preface. Welcome to the Connecticut General Assembly meeting. We are standing on our land and soil jurisdiction nation called Connecticut. We are here to restore our birthright government, a Republican form of government of the people, by the people, and for the people. A government whose primary duty is protecting your individual unalienable rights, freedoms, and property. You and I are stepping forward to voluntarily serve our fellow Connecticuters in pursuit of this ongoing challenge. We here are assembled to focus our time and effort by studying, fairing, organizing this organic body into a coherent working group with committees, affirming for the greater good of all the people of Connecticut's 8 counties. Thank you for stepping forward as a volunteer, reclaimer, and restorer. And I guess we can now follow that with the Bivens decision. John, do you want to do that, or would you like me to read it?
If you don't mind, because I'm in a place where I don't have it available to me right now.
Sure, I can take care of that. No problem. This meeting is private. Bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in public forums is forbidden and shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. To eliminate all conflict and false allegations, is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting who is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, city, or township agencies present? Is there a response to the Bivens decision for the first time? Hearing none, is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting who is a member of any agent, any law enforcement agency, any public agency of the federal, state, county, city, or township agencies present? Is there a response to the Bivens decision for the second time? And then for the third time, is there anyone present who is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, city, or township agencies present? Is there a response to the Bivens decision for the third time? Anyone who is here under false pretenses, anyone who is working for any foreign government, including the territorial United States or municipal United States, anyone who is being paid or coerced to be here, must fully disclose their presence and purpose now or leave the premises. If they subsequently show up as federal witnesses, they are discredited for failure to disclose. So now we'll go to our roll call, and I'll go through the various counties, and if you're in that county, please say aye. Fairfield County.
Aye.
Litchfield County. Hearing none. Hartford County. Hearing none. Middlesex County.
Here.
New London County.
Here.
New Haven County. Here. Holland County. Hearing none. And Windham County. Hearing none. So that covers our basic business, and I'll just do a very short and simple prayer. We ask our Creator for the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, for the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. With that, I think we can begin our meeting. I had a lot of ideas about what to cover, but I kind of thought it might be fun to turn it upside down and go with the fun stuff first. How does everyone feel about that?
Sure.
So after I saw yesterday's how to build an assembly with Anna and Lisa Schaefer, at the end she goes through the event that's being held upcoming at Plymouth Rock. And I got the official invitation from Michelle Ford and was kind of hoping I could share that with everyone. So I'll do a screen share and then maybe I'll try and put it in the chat or send it out by email. So let's see if I can screen share it here. Okay, does everyone see Mayflower Compact Anniversary?
Mm-hmm.
Founders Monument Trip? So this is the basic form here. I think they've gotten a good rate on some hotels there, but maybe, you know, I think we're probably close enough. You could drive and drive back if you really wanted to. Mm-hmm. So we're a little late, as you can see by the October 1st thing, for responding, but I think they still have some openings. But you can see that they have, you know, what the rates are, and that they have events planned on Saturday, November 9th, and Sunday, November 10th, and then on Monday, November 11th. And then they have a little map here showing the various locations. So it looks like it'd be a pretty interesting thing, especially to see people from all over the country. The Saturday they've got a Pilgrim Hall Museum, $15 admission. All you need to know before you go. Anyway, I think those might be links. And then they're going to Pilgrim Rock, which is a state park, admission free. And then they're doing a happy hour to meet and greet at, I guess, at a hotel. And then they're doing dinner at a restaurant next to the hotel. And then Sunday they're doing Plymouth Pawtucket museums. And I guess this is a historic home site of a 17th century English village, craft center, and then a Mayflower combination path, all museums. And of course there's the Mayflower, which is on the water, I believe, in Plymouth. Then followed by a dinner, and then on that Monday I think they're going to do something at the National Monument. Looks like it here anyway. Mm-hmm. And then followed by another dinner. So that's pretty exciting, and it's coming right up. What day is today?
23rd.
So we got like just over 2 weeks, I guess, something like that. Maybe most 3. Anyway, I thought that would be very interesting, that everyone would want to know all the details. I'm sorry I didn't get them sooner. I don't know why they slipped by me. I thought I was listening to everything, but such is the way it rolls. Anyone have any questions? Anything they'd like to chip in about? Anybody want to go?
I mean, kind of it, but I'm going to be away from until November 5th. I'm leaving Monday. And I feel like that's just such a quick turnaround to go off and do something again.
I'm tempted, but Tom, Eric Montgomery says, can you send it to me? I can't see it when you have time.
Okay. Well, I'll probably email it out to everyone so they have it. So
That's
just probably forward it through email to the entire list.
Thank you.
Some people may, want to take Monday off and go to that speechifying at the monument.
It would be kind of fun to just Saturday or Sunday, take a ride up, and I haven't checked to see how far that is, but it can't be that bad. It's Massachusetts. I mean, I go to Vermont in 2.5 hours, so it would be kind of cool to meet some of the people that we see on the videos. I yield. Sorry, Linda.
No, that's okay. I butt in.
So that was one really cool thing. Mm-hmm. Another cool thing, if you were watching the email that the invitation was sent out in, you would have read, let's see here, you would have read Gary's response to that email. And for those of us who maybe are not familiar with Gary Mead was the first state coordinator of Connecticut. He was the groundbreaking guy here, and I think we're all really, really happy that he's landed in Pennsylvania with his brother and on it looks like a gorgeous farm in just happy circumstances. If you were curious, recheck the email. He attached some pictures of the farm, and it just looks. I'm jealous. I want to move there too. Looks great.
It's gorgeous.
Let's see. What else is important to talk about? So then, amongst the other things that I thought it would be important to review, I know we've reviewed this a couple of times, but new credential cards are available, and I know some people have gotten them. I think maybe Eugene, did you order a new credential card? Is that right?
Not yet, no.
No, okay. And maybe it was Eric who got a new credential card.
Yeah, I got it.
And what do you think? Do you like it?
Yeah, I do. Not much different other than the fixed autograph and the expiration date.
Have you had occasion to see how it works?
I don't think the codes on the back, I don't know what system they would use, but I tried what it said on the back of the card, and I couldn't get it to read it. So I don't know if I'm using the wrong app, but that's what it's saying. It's telling you that. I can tell you what it says on it.
Eric, is the app a PDF reader?
It says use the scan code with PDF 417 reader. So I downloaded that and I tried it, but it didn't seem to capture the whatever this thing is, the barcode.
Isn't it a QR code or is it a barcode?
What is it? I guess,
QR code, the square one.
oh, I don't have on my iPad. can't even turn it on. Okay.
Was that
Anyway, just wanted to
PDF
make sure.
or-
Sorry, go ahead. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that the PDF 417 one? That's the one I have. Is that
Correct.
the same?
Correct. So, like I said, not much changed on other than, what they're asking you, like your physical address, which, you would somewhere different at the post office, and then the autograph and the expiration date. Those are the three things from the other one.
Right, those were the things that were missing for de facto recognition, were the fact that the old card did not have your signature, your autograph, and did not have your address, and it did not have an expiration and an issue date. And so those are the things that had to be corrected in order for it to come into de facto recognition. Anyway, so amongst the other things that we should review, it's really been the last 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, that a whole bunch of stuff has happened in conjunction with the terrible devastation of Tennessee, Carolina, and other nearby parts by Hurricane Helene. Anna has a very good article that updates it, and I thought that it might be a good idea just to go ahead and read that article, because it does such a good job of summarizing how all that went. Is everyone okay with that? Shall I go ahead and read it?
Sure.
Yeah.
So the name of the article is International Public Notice for the Love of God and Country. The past 3 weeks have been harrowing times to try men's souls, and our resolve as nation-states united to stand together to assist our brothers and sisters in times of hardship. The devastation wreaked by Hurricane Helene, and to a lesser extent Hurricane Milton, have stirred the conscience of America and forced us to take actions that we would never have imagined. Lawsuits against FEMA and DOD, investigations into the members of Congress who are occupying vacant seats of office as foreign corporations, hundreds of hair-raising search and rescue and supply drop missions daily, scientific analysis of environmental crime scenes, formal declaration of land law, forcing local sheriffs to occupy and exercise their peacekeeping offices, and now the work becomes even more grim as it shifts inexorably to the recovery of bodies. A desperate race to save those in the higher elevations from death by exposure, and the horrific work of demolition and debris cleanup in the middle of an ecological nightmare. Entire river drainage systems are polluted by the dead bodies of thousands of people and animals. Compromised septic systems, industrial chemicals, and even radioactive waste. Soon, snow will come to the mountains, settling its white mantle of peace over scenes of destruction and loss, impacting some of the poorest people and the poorest communities in this country. And all Kamala Harris and her cohorts can say is that they're carrying through with their plan of sending billions of dollars worth of aid to Ukraine and a whole $750 to each family who lost everything in Appalachia. By the God of our forefathers, this will not stand. These corporations will be toppled and their leaders arrested for their gross negligence and dereliction of duty. Their breaches of trust and their criminal violations of their service contracts, abuses which we have all suffered. The preliminary and greatest fault lies with the House Speaker Mike Johnson, who has refused to immediately reappropriate funds designated for other purposes to the relief of Appalachia, like part of the billions to be wasted on Ukraine. We are calling for his immediate arrest and prosecution for treason. We are calling for the investigation, questioning, and arrest of every member of the last 5 Congresses who, 1, voted for the pandemic mandates and yet exempted themselves and their families from taking the shots, 2, extended the funding of various municipal agencies, FEMA, BATF, IRS, DOD, etc., for another 3 months past the conclusion of the United States bankruptcy. Remember, these people are not our fiduciary deputies and are sitting as quote-unquote representatives, officers of foreign corporations in the business of providing, quote, essential government services, close quote. As such, they have no state immunity and no public office, but they have assumed public duties and may be held liable for their acts. By their actions and their inactions, they have harmed millions of people in 7 states of the Union, and they have done nothing sensible to ameliorate this circumstance. These are the facts. Republicans and Democrats alike all have failed the test. All are owed removal, and we are owed new public elections. None of the elections from 1856 to today have been public elections, thanks to the deceit, malfeasance, and self-serving nature of the miscreant corporate denizens of Washington, D.C. We have seen them at work in Gaza with their frontman, Benjamin Netanyahu. Now we see them at work in our own Blue Ridge Mountain communities. The only thing that holds them back from their avarice is international law and fear that the military and people of this country will see what they are and fall upon them like the wrath of God. As we should for these their offenses. And then she puts in a YouTube video link. The banks that have given them free access to our credit and that have received our assets from them, full well knowing that the assets they deposited did not belong to them, yes, the bankers deserve the same treatment, for without them, none of these travesties and injustices would ever have been possible. For us, we are left to pick up the bleeding pieces. Those Americans who are reading this, please consider, do you have room at your hearthside this winter for others who desperately need a roof over their heads through no fault of their own? Can you spare a few bucks to help transport individuals and families to safety with friends and family members in other parts of the country? Our state assemblies are open in helping to identify flood victims and helping to protect their land claims and maintain correspondence with them while they temporarily move to safety in other states. We need to get as many people to safety as we can and keep resupplying those who remain with winter gear, stoves, fuel, tools, food, and clean water. Can you support our land courts and counselors of law who will protect these families and communities from bogus claims of quote-unquote federal rights of eminent domain that don't exist while they are away from home? Will you step forward into the gap at a time like this? Make no mistake, this is a long-term commitment. We estimate that it will take upward of 10 years for remediation and rebuilding, and we fully admit that a number of communities will not survive this attack. Until we regain full control of our government and our assets and our credit, Times will be tough. We have millions of Americans to re-educate about their own history and law. We have hard work to do and a full plate of heartache set before us. But we have faced hard times before, and we will face them together again. The evildoers, the liars, and the globalist thugs are due for their comeuppance, not their re-election. Issued by Anna Maria Reisinger, producer, United States of America, in care of Box 520994, Big Lake, Alaska, October 20th, 2024. Powerful stuff. So I don't know if there's anything we can do as an assembly, but I certainly put it out there to think about. And open the floor for comments or suggestions.
If I may, they were talking about, let me get that. I think it was the Tuesday. Neethi with Anna, the United States of America podcast, episode 55. They were talking mostly about their ongoing coordination and who to contact, which is the gentleman, one of the coordinators on North Carolina. So they scrolled his email and his phone number at the bottom of the, you know how she does that, scrolling. So I would, I'll try to put the episode in the chat. I don't know if I can. United States of America podcast, episode 55, YouTube. Y'all should be subscribed to that anyway already. That's the only way we can stay in touch with everything that's going on, you guys. Mattermost is gone. There's really nothing but these podcasts and stuff, and they're proving to be very helpful to stay plugged in and keep moving forward and learning. Ohio has one called is it America? Some assembly required. Mm-hmm.
Yes, she follows the Tuesday podcast right after, and she has Anna on as well, and it's excellent. Very good.
Yeah, that's Lisa Schaefer on Ohio. I think she's going to be in that Massachusetts gathering. I'm not sure. Sounds like it.
Yes, you're correct. Yeah. She's the one who's organized all the hotels and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Oh, it says, Eric Montgomery says, I was able to scan the card with the app called Scanned It. Once downloaded, use any code. Scan the barcode to the right. So he was able to scan his card.
With a different app?
Looks like a different app. It's called Scanned It. My question is, did you have to pay $50, Eric?
I think it was 20, because I already had my other cards.
Yeah.
So I think I paid $20, I believe.
Okay, good. That's good info.
May I?
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that through the LRO?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I paid. Then the information that Tom gave us is what I used to scan. And
right. Okay.
Kimberly, can I?
So I'm putting. Sure, go ahead.
Can I ask Kimberly if they gave a place where to send? Because I have 9 garbage bags full of winter coats and clothes that I gathered to send, but I can't put an address. Nobody will return my messages, and I have all this stuff to send, but I have no place to send it.
Yeah, I think if you call this gentleman, which I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but Greg maybe. Okay. Yeah, it's that this is all 1 hour of them talking about it, and pretty quickly into it they they get that information out and they decide that he's the one to contact. And for now, that's what they're doing: phone or email him, and then he'll tell you what to do.
Okay.
Oh, Tom Phillips dropped America Some Assembly Required. Thank you. In the chat. Yeah.
Well, I thought you said it was the Neepy the pharmacist.
Yeah, it's a different
Right.
one. I'm trying to get that one in the chat right now.
Oh, okay.
It's two different podcasts, but they follow each other on the same day.
No, but you said the one who gave the information of where to
Yeah.
send things.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
is this the one that you just posted in the chat, the one that they gave that information? Or
No,
is it-
I'm typing now. Tom just happened to drop that other one in there, so I got distracted. Sorry.
United States of America podcast.
Right, podcast 55. I'm typing it out right
Yeah.
now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the address is listed in that podcast. It runs in the bar below. I just don't happen to. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry, I didn't do that.
Anyway,
But if you watch the podcast, you will definitely get the address.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
And so one of the things that this article brings up is the fact that the law of the land has been invoked. And in one of Anna's other articles, or maybe it was a podcast, I'm trying to remember now, but he says if she'd known invoking the law of the land would be so effective, she would have done it a long time ago. But as it turns out, it's a hugely powerful thing, and although this Boyd Adams video was taken down off of YouTube, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just watched it. When was it taken down?
Well, I tried to get to it yesterday, and it had been taken down. But maybe you had it up or something. I don't know.
Wow.
In any case, our problem is that the sheriffs have been removed from Connecticut. I couldn't tell you the exact date when that happened, but we don't have any sheriffs to notify in our state. And so John Taylor very kindly agreed to reach out to Joseph Hayes on the PKTF, and so we did get a little email information from that, and I thought it would be appropriate to go ahead and read through that. I'll also screen share because you may want to jot down some email addresses, or anyway, I thought it'd be useful to go ahead and share that. So I'm going to go ahead and share this.
Tom, if I may, I saw your question pop up on that podcast, and then Anna answered it. She was like, "Well, elect your own." I was like, "Well, all right, there you go. Elect our own. There you go. Done deal." So anybody who wants to be the sheriff of Connecticut, step right up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of too bad because we did have, I think his name was Matt, was quite interested at one point, but kind of fallen off the radar. I haven't heard from him in many, many months. So.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so here's this email. It's a response. You can see it's from boydadams@gmail.com, and it was to Joe Hayes, and it's CC'd to John. And he's saying, we will be able to serve notices to every sheriff in the country instantly at the push of a button as soon as next week or as soon as we can acquire PKTF official credentials. Thanks, Boyd Adams. And then that's followed. I may be getting the order of all this wrong, but the information is the same. Hi, John. PKTF is working on an approach strategy we believe will assist any American state assembly facing issues with noticing the proper officials. regardless of their capacity regarding law enforcement. Our newly onboarded Executive Secretary with the Peacekeeping Task Force has many years of service experience in this area of administrative function. If all goes as it should, PKTF should be able to notify all parties involved with the receiving and responding to such notices as they are delivered. More to follow on this. In the meantime, if you have someone within your assembly interested in taking on the role as PKTF Assembly Liaison, please have them contact me at their earliest convenience. We're currently seeking anyone who is an American state national to become a PKTF Assembly Liaison for their respective state. To get started with attending our ongoing training available throughout the year, please have them complete the simple enrollment form here. It has that web link, and we will be in touch with them soon. Sincerely, Joe Hayes, Director, and this is the email that John had sent out originally. Our assembly here in Connecticut does not have a sheriff. There are no state sheriffs either. How are we to notice the courts? We have 8 counties here. If we had one sheriff, can he represent all counties until we are populated enough to have one in each county? Do we bring any notices to the Secretary of State? Wouldn't she then be responsible to extend the notices to the appropriate department? Any help you could give would be appreciated. Thank you. So you can see that it's looking extremely hopeful. Now, does anyone remember anything about Boyd Adams, his background?
May I?
Sure, please.
Yeah, he was the what do you call it? The police chief or something like that. He was in regular, he was in the regular police. And he was, pretty sure he was the police chief. And
yeah, he had many years in law enforcement as yeah. I believe as a sheriff. I could be wrong about that, but maybe someone else has more clarity. But
yeah, he said something about the chief or whatever, because I listened to that whole thing. And of course, then he, had his awakening and became a national, and I forgot now what state he's on, but it might say that on there.
He's Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana. Okay, yeah. So yes, for many years he was in law enforcement, and he was, if I remember correctly, definitely like the chief, police chief, or whatever, the highest office of that precinct or wherever he was at. That's what I remember from listening.
Right. So the point being that we now have some inside track that would be highly respected by those currently holding those offices because of his status and his experience and his history. I'm not sure who the liaison they're referring to is. Could be one of these other people like Kathy Cridler listed on the email, but it's all very encouraging, and I think we can safely assume we don't have to do anything like a letter to the Secretary of State here in Connecticut. But what's your feeling about all this, John? How do you read all this?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm driving on 95 right now, so that's why I couldn't read what I was reading. I had also sent to get a liaison in the PKTF, which I was attending those meetings at one time, but if I remember correctly, they had said that to be in the PTKF, you can't hold a position as an officer in the assembly.
Right.
I seem to recall that being the case, which is why I stopped attending the meetings. But if it's possible that I can still hold the position and do it, I'd be willing to do it for the assembly, and at least have somebody attending the calls so that we can, know what's happening. I haven't heard back from him on that. I was kind of hoping that I get a little more back from him as far as if we can elect one sheriff for now and to populate the whole state. But according to the way everything reads, I think it's got to be on a county by county basis. So, say you're elected the sheriff of New London County, or appointed the sheriff of New London County. I'd only have the sheriff's. If it were me, I'd only have the power within the county of New London.
Right. Your jurisdiction is just your county.
Right. Which is why I listened to Anna again. I listened to that podcast again, just to listen to how she worded it. And it still didn't seem definitive to me, which is why I asked him the question I did. I just, I'm sure I'll hear back from him. I know he's really busy. He does answer his emails, but sometimes it can go several days before you hear back from him, which is what it took me the last time. But it's kind of exciting to know that they're gonna just notify every state with the push of a button.
Well, and at least it'll all be done officially. And thank you, John. Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So we've covered the main items, with a few exceptions. We covered the credential card. We didn't talk at all about how we now have an honorable military. That's not all of our military has been converted, but Anna's been alluding to people who've been who are honorable in our military, who helped out to reduce the effect of the engineered Hurricane Milton, and in the podcast, the webinar, Terry does ask the question about if no one is getting paid through Serco anymore. That would be the British corporation that had been paying all our quote-unquote armed forces, which is what made them a mercenary force. They were being paid by a foreign corporation. So this is a hugely important thing that we have honorable military, and one of the things that she mentioned as well was that there were land treaties that gave permission for the military to come into those particular states to help out. So if you hear stuff about, the military is now operating in the states and they're not supposed to do that, Anna had kind of cleared that up. And then the other thing that she had talked about, I believe it was in this most recent webinar, was how they were rushing to get the prosperity cards out to the victims of this disaster, which should speed the rollout for everyone else as well, I imagine, so they can have some form of relief, some income that that certainly we all of us are owed, but especially them, they would be in particular need of, right? Anyway, so all that stuff is incredible news, and there's just so much coming at us these days. I just got through reading, all the articles.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that's the basic stuff. There was a question from Pasca. Kind of falls in the category of new business. She just got a Discord account, and she's wondering how to get onto the Connecticut Assembly Discord channel. I'm not familiar with Discord, but if someone is and could email her instructions, she does have a new email because her old one was hacked. And if you look at the list that I send this out on, you would find her new email. And
I can send it. I have the guy's name. She just has to get the account, make her account on Discord, and then send a message to this gentleman who created the what do they call it? Server called American State Nationals. Then he will look up her. He will verify that she is an American State National on the LRO, and then he'll send her a link. Pasca. Okay.
And so I think that pretty much rounds up the stuff. Does anyone have questions or things that they'd like to bring up? And we did talk about a fair amount of things before we started the meeting, and we could certainly revisit those too.
If I may.
Please.
I've been checking a lot of the back channels, alternate news sources, in the last couple of weeks. There seems to be a lot of chatter coming down about something happening this weekend, the 24th or 25th, as far as maybe the EBS happening.
I read that too.
In which case they might shut down all communications, internet, television. Your phones will only work for 911, all that type of stuff. Supposedly, there's going to be a 10-day communication blackout, and if you figure it all out, if it shoots on the 24th or 25th, it will actually come out to be November 4th or November 5th for the 10 days. So they're recommending everybody make sure you got a couple of weeks worth of food and water, just to be prepared in case that does happen. I mean, I've heard a lot of it before, but it seems to be getting a lot more definitive at this point. So I just thought I'd bring it up in case anybody here hasn't heard of it. With that, I yield.
Okay, John, thank you for that heads up. Obviously, with all these things, we've heard lots of these things before, and it's hard to know the reliability, but it certainly does not hurt to be prepared.
Yep. Just an FYI, I just got notification on a news app that the 911 system is down for direct calling.
Yeah, we had that yesterday in New Haven as well, and it supposedly was restored. Of course, I'm not going to call those guys anyway, so I wouldn't know.
That's what I said.
My brother-in-law is the administrator of Valley Shore Communications in Westbrook, but he's a good guy.
Excellent.
Well, tomorrow's the 24th, so it's actually Thursday, Friday, not even the weekend. If that, I just listened to what's his name? Anyway, somebody, and he was saying that too, that this seems very legit in his mind. And as I think it was something that happened a couple of weeks ago. So, but now I'm looking at the date. He's saying the 24th, 25th. I'm like, well, that's tomorrow, and the next day. So, well, time will tell. Like, we'll wake up tomorrow morning to a sound on our phone or something. Shall see, right?
Well, I think that it's important to remind everyone that that we have the power within us, with our consciousness, with our intention, and if we truly understand that everything is exactly the way it is for a very good reason, and the forces of good, of God, or of the Creator are at work. It's amazing what can happen. I was watching this podcast about all the devastation in North Carolina, and this guy who's interested in permaculture was talking about how he has an expert team of people who are going to go in and plant specific species and introduce various fungi and heal the riverbeds within 1 year. So, keep your minds open to all the possibilities. Mm-hmm. And, when someone introduces you to negative ideas, you can honestly say, well, that may be one path, but we choose hope. We choose, a better path. Anyway, that's my opinion. So.
Yeah. If I may.
It is an exciting time right now.
Sure is. Please go ahead.
It is very exciting. So I just wanted to give a little recording secretary type of report, I guess, just on a couple of little things. So there's not a huge flood of people coming in, but we are getting here and there people coming in with nice documents all ready to record and publish from that Max Taylor automated system that he created, or whoever created. I did get an invitation from him to learn and be trained on that. And then there's a fee to purchase the software, maybe? I don't know. Anita's helping me with all this tech stuff, because I don't really know what the heck's going on. And I'm just trying to figure out a time where I could fit that in to my life, to be able to do a questionnaire with a new people and create a 928 in 30 seconds. You can't beat that.
Wow.
So that's kind of like in the background sort of going on. But I'm already, people are coming in with their documents already. Everything's perfect. It's great. I don't have to do a lot of corrections or anything. So I think it's something that we should consider having as an assembly in the future. However, we can make that happen. We need more people. But anyways, that's happening. And then, that's brewing, I should say. I sent Terry an email about how to secure our email connection to TASA so that we can not lose or not drop any of these new balls coming our way. We need to have connection with this, we need to have access to Connecticut's email that's connected to TASA. So Terry, Isabel told me that Terry's in charge of that. So I sent Terry an email. In the meantime, Anita and I
are we talking about referrals from TASA for Connecticut? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, like how they connect, how they click on their state and get in touch with the coordinator of Connecticut. Like, who's doing that? We don't know. Isabel's not doing it. It's just no time. I don't know that, you know what I mean? Like, we have to get a hold of that. We cannot let people sit out there not getting answered.
Oh, I see.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's excellent. Thank you for pursuing that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more frustrating than being interested in what's going on and then not getting zero response. Can't let that happen. So then also, Anita and I were talking about, creating an email for Connecticut, and I thought, just off the top of my head, I thought, okay, I can upgrade my Proton and get more emails. Like I can create an email address for Connecticut, which I thought I would follow Ohio's example, and they just did would be Connecticut Assembly. Then they did their 00, which is their zip code. I think it is anyway, or whatever and I thought we'd do 06 because we're 06. Our area is 0, and we're the 6th state. And then at Proton Me. So that's my offhanded suggestion right now, just kind of throwing it out there. To upgrade Proton is like $40, $50 for the year, I think. So, that'll be my donation, whatever. And so that's that. I did ask Terry, I told Terry in the email that was our thought. Is that what we need to do? Is there something else we need to do? So I'm hoping to get an email from her.
May I interject?
Yes, please.
We really want an email address that more than one person can get in and look at.
Yes.
So if somebody drops out or something happens to them, we have somebody else or other people that can just go in and check the emails on a regular.
Yep. So we would give, I guess what you would call any officer or any main people who, have a role or whatever, or at least have been vetted, would have access to the username and password, so that we can together make sure people get answered.
Yes. It should be part of the orientation and introduction, process. Yeah.
And exactly.
And, certainly, we can try and fund this automated system software if you get to that point with Max Taylor.
Okay. So then also Anita and I are creating a new updated welcome package with hyperlinks, just like Isabel did, but just updated. And then all of the places to go to educate yourself, to connect with others, all the things that are kind of going on right now, so that everybody kind of had a way to get involved, get up to speed, get educated, where to, all the places to go. And then we thought that we were just talking at the beginning of this meeting about reaching out to everyone that we currently have on Connecticut who's been kind of absent, and sending them the new welcome packet and say, hey, we updated this, we haven't forgotten about you. We're going to send monthly reminders about our General Assembly meeting. Please consider attending. This is a big time, kind of just sort of refresh the outreach a little bit to everybody who's already papered up. That's our thought.
Re-engagement.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth it. One of the responders to the group email that I sent out with this invitation was Angela, and she said she could not attend, but that she was very interested in hearing new news about what's going on.
Great.
So,
there.
Yeah,
we do.
Good. So I think it feels like it might be a good time to just sort of spark just a little bit of outreach to the people we already have. Maybe they're ready now, or who knows. On another note, Elle, we just talked about this before. Elle has not yet transferred the website reins to Anita, but we're working on it. We're trying to get that done so that Anita can do more and take it off Elle's plate. And
big round of applause for Anita. Thank you for taking on such an important role. Thank you.
My
It's a big deal. Yeah, thank you. Also, Elle hasn't quite yet. She has indicated that there's a card printer for us, possibly. She has 2 of them, but we haven't yet, gotten like a come over now kind of thing. I'll show you how to use it. So, but that's sort of brewing in the background too. We should, at some point in the near future, be able to create our own credential cards.
Right. In the case of Eleanor, she does volunteer work for something called the Trail of Terror, which is a very elaborate Halloween thing that happens for charity. And she's been doing this for a number of years. And they do very extensive preparations, and people who sign up to go on this, they spend an hour in this house getting the living daylights scared out of them. And it's very popular. But anyway, it's a super busy time of year for her, right around and after Halloween. And then on top of that, I understand that she's also just moved her home location too. So many thanks to Eleanor for all her hard work, and we appreciate that she's even able to do stuff while she's got all this stuff on her plate.
Definitely. And that's all I have. So I just wanted to let everybody know kind of what was going on.
Can I add one? We want to also start a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So
wow.
We will continue to put the our meetings on the on that site.
Mega Drive.
Mega Drive. But with the Mega Drive, if you want to watch one of the videos on there, you have to download it to your computer. Otherwise, it won't play. It'll give you an error. But we want to start a YouTube channel and post them there as well, so it's easier. You don't have to download anything. You just go there. You get notifications if you subscribe to the channel. Anytime anything is uploaded, you would get notifications there. Then you just go and watch it, and it'll be perfect. So we want to start that as well. So as soon as we get an email address, I can start that.
Mm-hmm. We're going to do snippets.
Start it under my email, because then we're going to eventually run into the same thing that we're having with Isabel, when everything is under her email and we can't do anything with it. So,
right.
Yeah,
makes perfect sense.
We're going to make snippets about all the questions that I get all the time about, like, how do I pay for my credential card? How do I this? How do I that? So we're just going to put up, this is what all the states are doing. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just do this. And then there's also things that are already done well, like how to navigate TASA. So you can do, we're learning from Neethi that you can have like a link tree in your YouTube channel that, people can go and find these other great offerings that are out there that we don't have to reinvent. We don't have to redo everything. You can just say, this is where you go if you want to learn how to do TASA. This is where you go if you want to learn how to use the LRO. Here's the link to this video. Here's the link to that channel. And just, again, trying to help people plug into, we can't one-on-one walk everybody through everything, but we can try to help them find the answers the way the other states are doing it. So it's working for me. So I figure let's just do our own channel. What the heck? Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you very much. That's awesome.
Thank you
Of course, I think.
Because anybody else wants to jump in and help too, we're open to that. Anybody has offerings, ideas, just email us. We're welcome.
Any suggestions would be, to make it easier or expand,
And of course, we don't want to not do one-on-one, but we're only so many people who can do one-on-one.
Yeah.
All right, then. Does anyone else have any new business that they'd like to present tonight? Well, hearing none, I think I can probably go ahead and stop the recording. So I'll go ahead and stop that.